Hello, my spooky friends. It's Stacy, and welcome to Special Effects Makeup on a Budget. And I have a fun one for you today. This is a leprechaun look. I'm taking it from the original 1993 movie. I know it got some sequels afterward, but that is the look I based this upon. And with just a little bit of cotton, liquid latex, some foundation, and some eyeshadow, it's really easy to obtain this look. It's affordable and fun to do. So I hope you enjoy it. And let's just go ahead and get into it. To begin, I'm changing the wig. This is the same wig that I used in my Killer Clown tutorial, and I'm taking a little bit of water paint in orange, and I'm thinning it out, and I'm raking it through the black of the hair. I just wanted to bust up the color of the black, although I know in the movie the hair color for the leprechaun is orange, but I didn't have an orange wig, and I wasn't going to purchase another one, so this is a good opportunity just to change it, give it another tone to it, and it not be completely black. And let's just face it, wigs are expensive, and this is a good way to save some money because if you pick up colors that are black, brown, and blonde, you can add spray paint with color to them, or you could do the process that I'm doing today. The hat I created several years ago out of craft foam paper, and I'm using hairspray to color the only ribbon that I had, which was silver, and I used the gold hairspray that I picked up from Spirit Halloween, and I glued this around the hat. And because the hat did not fit anymore, I had to cut it up through the back so it would fit with the wig. For my Shamrocks, I freehanded some, and then if you're having a hard time, just take a small heart. I cut one out of foam paper, and I made it into a 3-leaf clover. And I used an X-Acto knife to cut my Shamrocks and my clover out because it gets more of a precise cut, and they really do pop out pretty good out of the paper. Using water paint, I cover my clover and my Shamrocks in about 3 coats, making sure to get the front and the back as well as the edges. Because it is foam paper, it is going to absorb a little bit, so you need a couple of coats to make it opaque. Using more watercolor, I mixed yellow and white and go into the center and make some small details and designs into the clover, just enough to give it a little bit more depth to it, make it look a little bit more real. I am using Mehron's gold powder to buff in a little bit of gold around each of the leaves. I thought this would just give it a little bit more pop against the hat, and if you're using the rub and buff, just like I did in the steampunk tutorial, you can do that around the edge and get the same effect. But you'll notice that I'm going into the cap of the Mehron powder, so I didn't mix it, I'm just using it dry. And because it is water paints, I want to seal that, and today I'm just using a clear nail polish top coat. Because this is craft foam paper, it's going to absorb a lot of the material that you put on it, so this is going to give it a sheen instead of a high gloss finish. And I'm randomly placing the Shamrocks and the clover with the gold coins over the hat, and I did use a glue gun for this. And if you notice people in the background, that's my brohim and his friend, but it was a Friday night and I had to get this done, and nothing's going to stop me. The gold coins I picked up at the Dollar Tree, just a small pack. It came with silver and gold. It is that time again to block out the eyebrows, and taking a spoolie, I push them up, and then I take my glue stick and I push in the direction, and then opposite in the direction in circles, and then before they dry, I take my spoolie again and lay them flat by pushing them up. Now I'm not too concerned about the texture or taking out the color because I'm going to be putting cotton liquid latex, and that will take care of that. And I block my eyebrows out according to energy level, I'll be honest, and according to the look that I need. So there are several different ways to do this, and in my opinion, as long as it works for you, the way that you're doing it and you cannot see it, that is the correct way to do it. I am mapping out the cheek area in this look by using my NYX Jumbo pencil. I did this because once I get into cotton and liquid latex, I don't want to have to worry about if I'm matching each side. Even though there is a symmetry to our faces and our body, I want it to match the best I can, and this is just going to take that guessing out of it, and I can get through the cotton and liquid latex a lot quicker. Now going in and I'm placing the folds in between the eyes and also mapping out that high eyebrow arch for the look. With just a small amount of liquid latex, this will go a long way. Don't over pour more than what you need because it will tend to dry and it is wasteful. And I lay down cotton up over the lines after I put some liquid latex in. Now I chose to use the jumbo cotton balls because you can split those faster and easier in two, and it just helps add to the overall bulk in the cheek area. If you notice in the movie, it's very exaggerated and raised. So what you want to do is when you put liquid latex over to get it to stay in place, you want to go over the outside edge and the inner edge. Don't weigh it down with liquid latex and make it flat. So upon researching for images in this movie, I found out that they had the original 1993, a 94, 95, 96, a 2000, and a 2003, all of which I knew that they had, but I was unaware that they had a 2014 Origins, which gave us more of a creature feature. And that's one thing I do love about movies that become cult classic. Once they gain a following and you change it, they will let you know what they enjoy or hate about what you've changed. And so then 2018 gave us going back to the original origins of the very first movie called Returns with some of the original actors. But and then I kind of got confused. Then there was this 2020 and 2021 movie, Leprechaun, The Curse, and then The Game. And I found out those were independent films, which I did not know about. They're not part of the franchise. But let me know what's your favorite Leprechaun movie. Please list that in the comments below. And I know that you see me talking, and I'm talking to my nephew. He always shows up when I'm doing these looks to hang out with me, and I really do appreciate that. We have a good time, sit around and talking. Him and my other nephew come up with these ideas, so do stick around to the very end because I take on all of my nephew's ideas about this costume, and we go out and we test this look and see everyone's reaction. Taking one ply tissue paper, once I separate the paper, I wad it up and then I open it back and I place it over the liquid latex design in the cheek area. Because we did not powder it, it's going to stick. And then I go over the outer edge with some more liquid latex, and then once that is secure, I then take and tear naturally. This is just to be sure that I get enough that I need instead of having to constantly add small little pieces. So this is a good technique if you're going to use this. It will add different texture and change it, but it will be a little bit more flat. And I'm taking my sponge and my liquid latex and I'm going in between the deep areas of the face. This is going to allow that buildup to stay, that high rise that we were doing in the beginning. So go through the creases of the cheek area to keep and obtain the height and the depth in the cheeks. And I go ahead and do this with the furrowing of the brow, getting the cotton and liquid latex into place, covering up the lines that I placed in earlier. And I do this also with the high arch in the brow. A lot of cotton, a lot of liquid latex. The liquid latex I use is a clear dry formula because it helps with overall painting, especially if you're doing several different types of colors, and also if you need to keep things into the flesh tone. If you're looking to pick that up, I do have a link in the description where you can find it off of Amazon. And when it comes to the high arch and the brows, I did go over with another layer of cotton and liquid latex because I wanted more height and more depth in the look going up toward the face. I wanted it to match what was on the cheek area. But that's up to you. It's your design. This is just a rough sketch. Have fun with it. This was a good one to do. It does take us a good amount of time, but it does teach you how to manipulate and how quick cotton and liquid latex works together and how it dries. So I think it's a very good one to begin with if you're looking to do this, and it's fun. I love doing special characters, and this is an easy one to do. And now for the nose, I go in, and to make my nose different, I put cotton and tissue paper, and I go back and forth between that and liquid latex. I just want the tip of the nose to be a little bit more bulbous, and also around the nostrils, because once we put in shadow and highlight, it's going to make that look even bigger and exaggerated. With more tissue paper, I go in over the eyebrows and in the forehead area, peeling away that I don't need, getting things into place, and using more liquid latex. Please be careful around your eyes. I would even recommend to protect your eyelashes with just a small coat of petroleum jelly until you get used to using these materials. And also, I like to show you of doing both sides. I could go off camera and do one side and then just show you one side, but I think if you see me doing it, it may also give you the confidence to understand that our bodies are not symmetric. There's asymmetry. That's why one shoe and one foot is bigger than the other, and one hand, is smaller than the other. And so just make things look like they belong in the same family, and try not to have heavy anxiety over making things match perfectly. This is a build-up, and it's fun to do it as you go, and it gets you used to using these type of materials. And I just continue to take more tissue paper and cotton and build that up around the forehead area and other places around the face that I think that need it, and also over the chin, which I do put this over the lip as well. This is going to create that natural looking lip, so there will be no transition to where you see the liquid latex and cotton end and your lips begin. Just be sure to pat it down very small amounts around the nose and the mouth. This will give you an opportunity to move your mouth around. You might have to go in with another layer of cotton or tissue paper with liquid latex. So just so if you're going to eat and drink a lot or talk, this will give it more staying power. The same thing with the nose. I did go through with the chin and do several different layers of cotton and liquid latex and run back and forth between cotton and tissue paper just to give it more of an exaggerated look around, because that cheek area is exaggerated and I wanted the chin to match as well. For my ears, I take cotton and liquid latex and I put that on the natural lobe that's exposed, and then I run that up onto the prosthetic earpiece as well. I picked these up at Spirit Halloween, and also there are some, you can get a bag of them on Amazon, but just continue to use cotton and liquid latex and build that up. I do have a little bit of adhesive of latex up underneath that, so it sits on top of the ear as well, but I do that to both sides and get those put into place. And making sure to build up also around the back side of the bottom of the lobe is going to make it stay a lot better. Using some cream paint, I color in the areas between the rows of cotton. This is our shadow, so it's going to make that cotton protrude out and be more exaggerated. If you do not have a darker foundation, if you have the foundation you're using, if you can just shave a little bit of brown eyeshadow, you can get a darker look. You don't have to buy specialty products, so you can mix that and get the same effect as well. And I go up under the eyebrow, and I go in and I force this color in between the deep parts of this look. That way everything will pop out. I use the same color around the areas of the eyes. It'll give that appearance that they're sunken in. And going in, because I used a cream paint, I'm going in with some eyeshadow with a dark brown, and I'm setting that, and I'm also pushing that in between the rows of the cotton, contouring the chin, and also going through and contouring the nose. I take a darker color and I go in up under the arch to make it look deeper. I'm using the darkest brown on this palette to put the shadow around the nostrils of the nose, which will make that nose look more bulbous. I go in and use some green around the eye socket, because in the reference photos from the 1993 movie there is a slight green around that area. But I tried to use that as less as possible because I didn't want this look to get carried away and to start looking like a troll or a goblin. I use this green to go through the very top arch of each fold into the cheek area. It just adds a little bit more dimension, and it brings all that green that I am using together up under the arches as well. And I'm going in with a black liquid lipstick because it will last a lot longer. For the hair, I'm using a little bit of pulled crepe hair and yarn, so I'm mixing white, black with a little bit of hair from my Labrador to give it a multi-color look. And I'm going through and placing liquid latex above and below the brow. I thought it would just be a little bit more interesting. And back through and up under the chin. If you push the hair in and it doesn't stay, just tap a little bit more liquid latex onto it and it'll be just fine. I get my ears painted, making sure they're all one color, and then with the eyeshadows and the creams, I go in and I push the dark color in to the areas that are sunken in. I do that also on the ear, and I go in and set that with some eyeshadow to make sure it stays, and then I also carry the green up into the look as well. One of my favorite parts about this look are the ears, because I love how once you put that dark shadow in, like in the inside of the ear, and with the texture of the cotton and liquid latex, and then adding the hair, it just makes those ears look really grimy and gross. I get my other ear colored, and I go in with the cream paints and I darken in the deep portions, and I go in and set that with some eyeshadow, again with the brown and also the green. And to add the hair, I tap in some liquid latex and then tap the hair in and pull it so it extends out. And I use a toothbrush and brown water paint to stipple the skin. Here is the final look, complete with hat, jacket, scarf, and teeth I created several years back for another leprechaun look. Please subscribe because I will have a monster teeth tutorial coming out real soon. Drink what you want. Drink what you're able. If you're drinking with me, you'll be under the table. I had to. What's a leprechaun tutorial without a good rhyme? And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.
Gold. There are a couple of pieces of gold. No.